Hey everybody, it's Emily. Welcome to another edition of the Daily Evolution, and today is Fitness Friday. And I did go to the gym today, and we are going to talk a little bit about fitness, but we're going to talk about your mental fitness. And I know I did this on Monday, and I just feel really called to you to speak about this because it's such a huge topic being discussed in our communities right now all across the globe. And I'm not going to say the C word. I just wanted to give you kind of my perspective and how I'm handling it. I'm getting a lot of calls and a lot of messages and just seeing a lot of things on social media and via email that are asking me how are you dealing with this, right? How are you dealing with this chaos? How are you dealing with this, the way that people are responding to what's happening in our communities and just on a national and a global level right now? And I will tell you that, like many of you know, that I believe in the laws of attraction. And so if you've not watched The Secret, it's on Netflix. I would highly recommend it. It's a very simple version. It's a documentary that was created, I think it was in 2006, 2004, 2006, something like that. And the laws of attraction basically say that, what we put out there, we get back, right? So it's like magnet, like attracts like a magnet. So I will tell you that that as a foundation of what I am, how I'm navigating my life is very important to me. Like when I first watched that movie, I think I watched it in 2000 and let's see. I think I watched it in 2006 actually. So maybe it came out in 2004. I can't remember when it came out. It really made a lot of sense to me. And the power of our thoughts and in regard to creation and what it is that we're bringing about. And if this is not resonating with you, if you're watching this doesn't resonate with you, just shut it off. I'm not asking anybody to plug into anything that does not make sense to them from you're going to be resistant to what I'm sharing with you kind of way. That's not the purpose here. I'm just giving you my perspective, my point of view, and the way that I navigate it, because it really does help me a lot. And this is not true just for this thing that's going on in our community and in our world, but this is true for me always, right? So the way that I think about things, I believe that brings more of that into my space, into my direct contact with me. So I'm very careful about the way that I participate with the things that are going on out there. Now, it doesn't really matter to me what your belief system is around that, right? You don't have to believe that necessarily, but I would ask you to ask yourself this question, regardless of what you believe. And I've heard a lot of stories, a lot of theories, a lot of thought processes and perspectives over the last few days about this, epidemic, let's call it, about this situation, about this issue. Some people are saying that they believe that the government created it. Some people are saying, that they don't believe it's real at all, that it's just, it's a hoax. Some people are saying, that they believe that it's real, but that they're not at risk, that it's really going to be people who are immune compromised. My position today is not about debunking any of that. I'm not a scientist. I'm not going down that road. My position today is about how you respond, because the reality of the situation for me, for all of us, is that you can't control anybody else but you, right? You cannot control the other people that are in your neighborhood or that are in your job or that are in, on social media, that are in, stop judging people for their belief systems, right? That judgment that you're putting out there is creating more contrast, more people are responding the way that they're responding because that's what they feel like, that's what they believe in. So don't judge them for their responses, right? It just is what it is. And that's a tough thing, right? I was at the grocery store yesterday and there was some judgment for me around some of the things that I was seeing, and I had to remind myself these people don't maybe have the information that I have, and they feel like they have to be in a place of fear. So I don't want anybody to ever respond out of a place of fear, right? Fear is not helping us at all, ever. It is creating more of that yuckiness, more anxiety, more depression, more like all of the stuff that we are not wanting to live with or deal with. So just looking at, how you're responding, like, are you having a fear-based reaction? Are you, kind of getting into this manic place? Are you, having anxiety? Are you having like whatever it is that the reaction is that's going on for you? Ask yourself if it's a fear-based response, because when you're responding out of fear or you're freaking out about something, that's not helping you or your family or anyone, right? So stay calm. Like, that is in any situation, no matter how bad it is. The reality of what you can control is how you respond to things, and staying calm is number one, right? Don't get into a panic. Number two, for me, right, believing that what I put out there, I'm gonna get back more of, is really, it gives me peace. I get to navigate every day in a peaceful space. And again, I'm just gonna give you some of my personal perspectives and how I create this really lovely, like, I'm not stressed out, I'm not freaked out, I'm not worried, I'm not walking around, like worried that I'm going to die or that somebody else that I know is going to die. Like, I'm not giving energy and attention to that, right? I'm giving energy and attention to feeling good and to being in a place of love. And that, and I guess at the root of all of this is, and I mentioned this to my son the other day, like, I have this core fundamental belief that when it's my time to go, it's my time to go, and I don't really know when that's going to be. None of us ever really do, right? Unless we're not gonna go down that road. Most of us don't know when we're gonna go, right? So I wanna live every day with passion and oomph and excitement and happiness as much as I possibly can. So if we don't know, we can't control it, right? We don't know. No, you don't have to be reckless with it. And do I wash my hands all the time? Absolutely, right? You can take precautionary methods. You can do certain things that help you. Just like, I wash my hands because that's the kind of person that I want to be, right? Not because I'm afraid of anything. It feels good to have clean hands. It feels good to take a shower every day, same thing, right? So just know why you're participating in the things that you're participating in, and be smart about it. And at the same time, not from a fear-based place, right? Find joy. And where I was going with that is, at the core, I don't know when it's my time, right? So I don't want to stay in my house just, like, not participating in my life because I'm afraid of something. Like, no. And I'm going to be smart about it, right? Generally, I'm okay with the fact that, like, if I'm supposed to go out because of this epidemic that's happening, like, that I'm okay with that, right? Like, I have made peace around whenever it's my time to go. So I don't get afraid of flying. I don't get afraid of, like, in a car accident, like, all of those things. So really, I mean, this fear, this is like such a really, like, deeply rooted fear of death, and death is a part of life. It's this cycle that we go through, right? So I'm saying all of this to you to give you my perspective, and you can disagree with me, and if you do, go find somebody else who you agree with. It's not about that. I'm not trying to get into any, like, change anyone's belief system or tell you you're wrong. It's not about that, right? It's just about, these are the things that I do so that I can create a level of love and peace and joy and happiness in my life, and that if I go out today for whatever reason, I'm gonna be really happy with the way that I lived my last 24, 48 hours, last week, month, year, right? So that's the way that I navigate. That's what feels good to me. We are the only ones who know what's best for us. So check in with yourself, trust yourself. If your self says you need to do X, Y, and Z, then go do X, Y, and Z, right? I'm not suggesting that you need to have my process. I'm just suggesting that fear-based responses are not going to be good for you, for me, for our population. Calm down, be okay. I'm happy. I have time on my calendar. So if you need to come in for a session and you need some additional tools, you need to find some peace amongst this panic that's happening around the world right now, I'm happy to support you in that, and to live in a place where you're not afraid, right? Where you can just be and find and feel peace every day. I'm almost over our regular time, so today more than anything, do those breathing exercises. I'm just going to explain to you what it is so that after you shut this off, you can go through and do that. Be intentional today about creating peace. Be intentional today about sending love to people that you love and care about. Sending you know, I always say that I'm sending you bright white healing light and love. So send out energetically, send out some love and some light and some bright healing energy to people who are feeling afraid. I'm working on not judging anyone who is having a really crazy response to this. Like, crazy isn't the right word. Having a really fear-based response. Like, I don't want you to have a fear-based response. Maybe you don't know what I know, or maybe it just doesn't occur to you that you don't have to respond like that. I once lived like that. I didn't know that I had a choice in how I respond to things, and it feels much better to be at peace than it does to be, you know, feeling very anxious. So that's why I choose this, right? This is how I navigate, and it feels really, really good. So just wanted to support you guys in creating some different thoughts, right? I'm a big proponent of, like, our thoughts create feelings, our feelings create action, our action creates results, the results create or reinforce our belief systems. So, and then the belief systems then reinforce the thoughts. So if you can begin to survey your thoughts and to change the recipe a little bit, you can get a little bit of a different result. And even if you take yourself from being, you know, on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being like, I feel pretty, you know, calm or really super peaceful, and 1 being like, I am freaking out, like having an anxiety panic attack here. If you go from being a 1 or a 2 or a 3 to a 4, like, you've really helped yourself to kind of go to the next level, and then you can work on the next level after that. So there's a reason that lots of the spiritual leaders and teachers in our world are not having an emotional response with panic and fear. That is not the route to go, right? So embrace, lean into your faith, not your fear. Lean into, you know, meditate, calm your mind down. All right, so the breathing exercise, just to go over it again, there is a video specific to this, but I want you to spend at least 2 to 5 minutes, right, calming yourself down if you're having a response to this that is negative. Take 2 deep breaths in and out, right? In through your nose. Ooh, clearly, I'm standing today. Normally I'm sitting when I do this. I need to practice balance. And then I want you to do the 4 counts of 4, right? Deep breath in to the count of 4. Hold at the top for a count of 4. A deep breath out for a count of 4. And hold at the bottom for a count of 4. Okay, I love you so much. If you need support today or over the course of the next, you know, couple of weeks, reach out to me. I have time in my schedule to help you navigate this difficult time. And just know that I'm sending you lots of love and light, and that you can choose to live in a peaceful place. You do not have to, and trust yourself, you do not have to be afraid. You do not have to live in a place of fear. Create peacefulness in your life, and it can be as simple as just changing the thought pattern, focusing on something that gives you peace, and plugging into some deep breathing and meditation. Love you guys so much. Hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you tomorrow for Spiritual Saturday. Bye.